give you a great example, man, of, my boy KB, Kev. He ended up, man, I don't know how I connected with him, but I didn't have nowhere to go, you know what I mean? So he let me come to his little spot, right? And I'm like, okay, I'm knowing the people, the whole little situation. I'm like trying to figure that one out. So, okay. He worked for a rent-a-car place and everything. So, no, I was paying him rent though. Actually, I wasn't just staying there for free. I paid him rent. So, end up what happened? Oh, he had a little honey. So we talking and stuff, and I'm like, man, I don't be like, I don't conversate in front of women like that, man, Oh, she's straight. She cool. She straight, This is, she down. She ready for me, you know what I mean? He had her getting down or whatever. I'm like, nah, it ain't straight, you know what I mean? She's straight, I'm telling you, folks. End up, he like, man, I forgot how old he had told me she was. I'm like, what? I'm like, man, you better get the hell away from that girl, man. I forgot, how old she was or whatever. But she was underage, I guess he felt comfortable, you know what I mean? I don't know how he had ended up coming across the situation or what, not or whatever. But end up, I leave. I'm like, I'm up out of here. You know what I mean? I ain't got time for this. You know what I mean? I can't play like that. Hell no. I ain't had nowhere to go either. And so they had so they let me rent a car and everything. Ended up giving me I was working at Raphael's Party Rentals, right? And they gave me a car that wasn't registered, all kind of crap, right? That's a whole nother story. But I didn't even know until, I ended up getting pulled over, all kind of stuff. And end up, I'm going to tell you that story. End up, I leave, homie. So I'm like working some strenuous hours at Raphael's, right? And it was some hard work. The party rental place where you put the tents up and all that stuff, that stuff's some hard work because you got like steaks. You might be trying to put barrels of steaks in the truck and, I mean, we're talking about metal poles, postings and all this stuff. That stuff is heavy, you know what I mean? But it's some hard work. Them big tents and all that stuff is hard work, you know what I mean? So, end up, my boy Bum from LA I end up, because I don't know, because see, this was at the time of, I think I had signed my deal for that gift certificate crap. And my son had left and ran away or whatever, went back and left, my oldest son. And he went with his grandma or whatever, right? And so, and that's crazy, my boy Bum, right? So, okay, I'm going to tell that story in a whole nother story, but it's a trip because it coincides with this story. Somewhat. But it's crazy when I think about it. So, end up, man, I got a few different stories about my boy. It's crazy. I'm like trying to stay away from everything, right? I'm trying to stay away from everything because I got to turn myself in, you know what I mean? And so, you know, I leave KB's, right? I leave. I was like, I can't do that. Nah, I can't play like that. You know what I mean? And basically, make the long story short, was I heard he had ended up getting cracked or whatever. I don't know. He had told me the story when he got out or whatever, because he ended up getting some time or whatever, you know. She had went bad on him, like told on him or got cracked and then told on him and told her, you know, that was her pimp or whatever or something. I don't know, you know. But I told him though. I told him, get away from her, man. I'm telling you, you better quit playing with them underage girls, man. Don't do it. You know, I'm like, nah, don't do that. And he's sitting here telling me, we going back and forth. He's like, she's straight. I'm like, nah, she ain't straight. You know what I mean? That ain't cool. I'm trying to tell you, boy. And he's in college and doing all the right stuff and, you know, working and, you know, and end up, you know what I mean, messed all that up and end up going to prison, homie, you know. But I specifically told him to don't do it. Get away from her. Believe me, I didn't have nowhere to go. You think I wanted to just leave, but I didn't want to be caught up in that twist of nothing. You know what I mean? Not at all. And he was laughing like I was, you know, like it was funny, right? You know, he's like, she's straight, you know? I ain't got to worry about none of that, you know? She ride and die with me, you know? I'm like, nah, that ain't how that work. You can't do that, you know? End up going to prison, homie. You know, he had told me she went bad on him and all kind of stuff. And I'm like, I told you, man. You know, I told him. You know,